Good morning. This is White Raptor News Ministries. All praise and glory to the Supreme Spirit of Truth, the living one, the authority, the author, the writer, the supreme, the all, the almighty, the all you can see and the all you cannot see, the supreme, the eternal, the self-existing, the perpetual, the always in motion, the one that created the universe. All right? Don't give your love to the universe. The universe's creation. Give your love to the Spirit of the living one. Welcome to the channel. I hope that you're having a great day. It's time for people to wake up about what's being written in this Bible. Okay? This Bible has been hijacked. Clearly, if you stick around at this channel long enough, you will see the inconsistencies. You will see the stories that don't make sense. They don't make sense to me. They shouldn't make sense to you. It doesn't make sense to me about a parent that would stick their child up on an altar to slay it. It doesn't make sense to me about daughters that get their fathers drunk and pregnant and lay down with them. It doesn't make sense to me that Moses would be gone up a hill for 40 days and that Aaron would turn around and make a golden calf and not be punished for it. None of this stuff makes sense. This God Yahweh is a fickle God, just like Jesus is a fickle God, just like any God on this plane of existence is a fickle God. They're two-faced gods. Jesus said to us, "Is it not written in your law that I have said ye are gods?" We are the gods. We are fallen gods. They call us angels. We're fallen from the Supreme Spirit. The return to the Spirit takes true contrite repentance of the heart. It takes love and dedication to turn your life back around and to leave the world. It's the only way that you can find peace, is to leave this world. Okay? Leave everything behind. You, your mate, find your mate and leave the world. It's you and your mate against the world. The whole world's a stage and all those on it are players. So, thought let's open up this morning with that. We're at Deuteronomy chapter 21. If someone is found slain, lying in a field in the land the Lord your God is giving you to possess. Is this after you've taken the land? Because just the previous before, you've sent into the land to destroy all the husbands, wives, and children's kids, the animals. You were sent in there to slaughter it. So now we're talking about your own people, Israel killing Israel, because you just wiped out everything in the land, or supposedly it's supposed to be wiped out. So, and it is not known who the killer was. Your elders and judges shall go out and measure the distance from the body to the neighboring towns. Then the elders of the town nearest the body shall take a heifer that has never been worked and has never worn a yoke, and lead it down to a valley that has not been plowed or planted, and where there is a flowing stream. There in the valley they are to break the heifer's neck. The Leviticus priest shall step forward, for the Lord your God has chosen them to minister and to pronounce blessings in the name of the Lord and to decide all cases of dispute and assault. Forgive me for saying, but that just sounds absolutely ridiculous. Personally, myself, let's take a completely beautiful, perfect, healthy heifer and break its neck for an offering to finding a dead body in the field. Let's measure who's the closest to the town, so they're the ones that'll be responsible for bringing up the heifer. It's just some of the stuff that's written in this Bible. It's just, to me, it's so silly. Okay, I love the Spirit of Truth, and I love God's chosen children. Okay? And you could be black or you could be white and be one of God's chosen children. Nobody has the right to say who God's chosen children are or not. Of course, everybody, it seems to be. I mean, look at here. Watch this. The Chosen One channels. This is what I mean, man. The Chosen One channels. How did I even get here? Our cast and guest. Chosen One channels. Okay, so you have all these channels here today, man. I mean, they're by the hundreds, folks. I mean, you could scroll all day long and find these people saying they're all narcissistics. All of them. They all consider themselves the chosen ones, the chosen ones, the chosen ones. Why? Because it came out with this movie, The Chosen One. Right? So now you got remember, what did Jesus say? He said, many would come in my name and deceive many. Well, who are the many? Christians. Makes sense to me. Okay. The Leviticus priest shall step forward, for the Lord your God has chosen them to minister and to pronounce blessings to the name of the Lord your God and decide all cases of dispute and assault. Then all the elders of the town nearest the body shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley, and they shall declare, our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see it done. Accept this atonement for your people Israel, whom you have redeemed, Lord, and do not hold your people guilty of the blood of an innocent person. Then the bloodshed will be atoned for, and you will have purged from yourselves the guilt of shedding innocent blood, since you have done what is right in the eyes of the Lord. Okay, so one man slays another man inside of a cornyard or whatever, man, in a field, whatever field you want to choose, take a field, any field, as long as it's a field, and it's slain. A man is slain. Now we're talking about a Hebrew man slaying another Hebrew man. Now, an Israelite slaying an Israelite man, and nobody knows the reason. Well, what if that person, now, and they're talking about an innocent man's blood shed. But I would argue that the Supreme Spirit punishes those that think that they get away with something that they're not supposed to be getting away with. You see, because this is a balanced system. Jesus says that he's coming to give each one according to what they've done. That means that if you've killed somebody, you're going to get killed. If you've raped, you're going to get raped. That's how I interpret it. You know, do not assume that I've come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish the law or the prophets, is what Jesus says. Okay, marrying a captive woman. A captive woman, does that sound? So Israelites are marrying captive women? Captive women from where? You just slaughtered everybody. This is what I'm talking about, that the scriptures don't make sense. You've just been sent into a city where you are to be, that's if they surrender to you. If they surrender to you, then they can go about their ways. You destroy all their idols, everything that's within their cities and stuff. But if they don't, then you take them captive. And you do what with the women at this point in time? What do you think they're doing with the women? They turn them into slaves, right? They turn them into their little sex slaves. Israelite isn't no different, because the devil said that he could turn you against God. And I'm telling you that the upper people of echelon in the Israelite community have sold you out, Israel. That's why you guys are in slavery. And they take the cream of the crop and they live these high lives and everything. And everything is given to them and handed to them, while you squabble and march around in the desert. And then you give praise and you give great glory to your prophets and everything. This could be one of the reasons why you're in trouble too. Now, I know a lot of you are saying that's blasphemy for me to be talking about any of the prophets. Well, I'm telling you, any of the ancient ancestors that have been born into this plane of existence are born in the flesh, and the flesh is corruption. The flesh is corrupted. If you're born into this plane of existence, you are born into this plane of existence in a corrupted flesh suit. Satan is the flesh. Satan created the flesh. Satan is the creator of this plane of existence. The Supreme Spirit didn't create this plane of existence. I don't care if you don't like it. I don't care what you're saying. I know for a fact that there are gods that are used of a Supreme Creator. I show you over and over and over that there is a spirit outside of this plane of existence, and it's to all creation in the universe of His glory. So these people that think that they're so in tune to the universe, and that they're saying they seek their power from the universe, they're not seeking it from the Spirit of truth. They're seeking it from the universe, and the universe is creation. Wake up. When you go to war against your enemies, and the Lord your God delivers them into your hands, and you take captives. If you notice among the captives a beautiful woman and are attracted to her, you may take her as your wife. Take a woman as your wife. What if she doesn't take Israel? You could take her as your wife. You know? Take. Okay? Not ask her hand. Hey, you didn't destroy them. They're alive. They're living and stuff. So this is just wishy-washy bunch of crap, man. Take them as your wife. Yeah. Bring her into your home and have her shave her head, trim her nails, and put aside the clothes she was wearing when captured. After she has lived in your house and mourned her father and mother for a full month, then you may go to her and be her husband, and she shall be your wife. What if she doesn't want to be your wife? What if she rejects you? Then what? If you are not pleased with her, let her go wherever she wishes. You must not sell her or treat her as a slave, since you have dishonored her. Okay, well, let her go. It still doesn't sound right, man. The right of the firstborn. If a man has 2 wives, and he loves one but not the other, the both bear him sons, but the firstborn is the son of the wife he does not love. When he wills his property to his son, he must not give the right of the firstborn to the son of the wife he loves in presence to his actual firstborn, the son of the wife he does not love. He must acknowledge the son of his unloved wife as the firstborn by giving him a double share of all he has. That son is the first sign of his father's strength. The right of the firstborn belongs to him. A rebellious son was me. I was a rebellious son. If someone has a stubborn and rebellious son who does not obey his father and mother and will not listen to them when they discipline him, his father and mother shall take hold of him, bring him to the elders at the gate of his town. They shall say to the elders, this son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey us. He is a glutton and a drunkard. Well, that's a difference. Now all of a sudden he is a glutton and a drunkard. Well, before he was just stubborn and rebellious. Well, I think there's a difference between being stubborn and rebellious and being gluttonous and a drunkard. Okay, gluttonous is one of the 7 deadly sins. Okay, stubbornness is not a deadly sin. Okay, simply because you don't obey your parent is not a sin if the parent's telling you to go in the room and strip your clothes off and wash yourself up real good so I can take hold of you, child. Okay? Disobey is a line, okay? I don't mind paying attention and listening and learning, but to obey somebody if it's not, it just obeying doesn't sound right to me, especially if you've got perverted or corrupted parents. And in this plane of existence, guess what? There's plenty of corrupted parents. Okay. Then all the men of his town are to stone him to death. Wow. So, my son being stubborn and rebellious, today I boot his ass out of the house. I'm not going to take him to anybody. to be stoned to death. Just because you got a rebellious kid that doesn't want to listen to you. Now, if you got a rebellious kid that walks down the street and burns down the neighbor's house, kills somebody inside of the house, nobody finds him guilty, and then he goes out and he burns another house down, then yeah, that kid needs to be stoned to death. You find a kid that goes out and he rapes a woman and he's telling you about his escapades proudly, his parents are just looking at him like, are you out of your freaking mind? You ain't supposed to do shit like that. We don't want to hear anything like that. Don't ever do it again. And then he goes out and does it again. Yeah, that kid needs to be stoned to death, man. You know, what's funny is that wives in some countries are stoned to death for adultery, but yet the man gets to walk free. That is not equality. Well, there is no such thing as equality in other countries, because the Bible plainly says that a woman isn't to rule over a man. It's that simple. I believe that the spirit, within spirit, man and woman are the same. There's no difference. There's no separation between the two. But once you're born into this plane of existence, man, mankind is evil. You understand? They're ruthless. They're rapists. This is why they shut our shithole country down, man, and told you that there's a virus out there and it's killing people and trying to get you to take a shot. And my mother, she took that shot and she died 2 months later. So you must purge the evil from among you. All Israel will hear of it and be afraid. Yeah, well, I would be afraid of a parent. I mean, look, my own flesh and blood, my daughter, she shamed me, and I'm sure that I've done things that have shamed my mother and my stepdad, who I was raised from. But the difference between a shameful person is somebody who does the act and continues doing it and doesn't see it as a shameful act. Okay, that's a demon. Somebody who does something and then realizes how awful it was, that what they did, and then never does it again. All right, that is absolutely transparency between you and the spirit, and he understands that. You see, I've made a lot of mistakes in my youth that I'd never do again. So that's the way it rolls. Various laws. If someone's guilty of a capital offense, is put to death, and their body is exposed on a pole, you must not leave the body hanging on the pole overnight. Be sure to bury it that same day, because anyone who is hung on a pole is under God's curse. And, well, Jesus was hung on a tree. Is that also God's curse? You must not desecrate the land the Lord your God is giving you. So before I phase out here, let's take a look at this last parable here. Deuteronomy chapter 21, verse 22, Bible Hub. See, 21, 22. Oh, it's 23. Okay. You must not leave a body on the tree overnight, but you must be sure to bury him that day, because anyone who is hung on a tree is under God's, plural, Elohim, under something that is used. The Supreme Spirit doesn't have anything to do with this plane of existence, folks. Okay? You sinned against God. He said that you'd surely die, Israel, that day if you ate from that tree of knowledge of good and evil. And you've been underneath of a curse by the gods of this world, the ancient ancestors. I'm sorry, man, the Anunnaki, all the ancients, yeah, they may have had great knowledge and all that, but they were corrupted, because to this day, we're talking about them. We're talking about Sumerian gods and other gods and placing gods next to God. And these are the other gods that the Supreme Spirit is saying that you're not to place gods beside him. So you have gods specifically used of a supreme. Okay, you have the Lord. The Lord is from Haya, and the Indians, the native Indians of this country, they sing Haya, ya, ya, Haya, ya. So the proper name of God of Israel is Yahweh. I don't worship Yahweh. So you have Lord Yahweh. Okay, Lord Yahweh is the one that's giving you the commands. Lord Yahweh is the one that's saying, place no other gods beside me. Lord Yahweh is the one that's saying that I am supreme, I am the authority, and I am the Almighty. He is the same as everything else. He's a lowercase God, like all of us are lowercase gods. Let me be very clear for you. That anybody you vote into office, you give your power away to them. And it's that simple. They have power over you. It's so imperative for your freedom, your true freedom, to stop voting politicians into office, because look at what they've done to our country. Okay, so Lord here has a different meaning than God. God Elohim, again, this is Eloheka, plural of Eloah. All of the gods are plural of Eloah. So who's the God Eloah? Eloah is also a plural of the supreme God. So you understand that this, in the beginning, is when the divinity of other gods came into existence. In the beginning, other gods came into existence. Why? Because in the beginning is the beginning of the fall. In the beginning is the beginning of the materialized world. In the beginning is time. Time is a time construct. Time is made up of 60 seconds, 60 minutes, 24 hours, 2 + 4 is 6, 666. We were born and birthed into a 666 system. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. All praise and glory to the mighty Most High. This is White Raptor News Ministries.